Hi guys, welcome back to this week's video. Now, this week I've got something exciting for you. If you want to learn how to build this roof rack for only £148, stick around and watch this video and I'll show you exactly how I did it. However, you're going to join me roughly where I found out that the roof bars that I bought for this were not the right roof bars. That is a 120 mile round trip. However, we do now have a set of roof bars for a transporter. I only have two, but out of that gives me 4 feet. So all being well, what I can do is take them all apart, use one side, or use all the feet to make up one side, and then because they're VanMaster ones, I think it's one of the most common ones. Once I actually managed to find another set of two, which I might have found a couple of sets already, we're just trying to work it out to get them, then yeah, we've got all 4. But for this purpose, and until we use it fully, I can make it, I can mount it, and yeah, we're getting there. It's now 3 o'clock basically on Saturday, and I have done nothing. So yeah, settle in for another hour and 15-minute drive home, and then we'll see whether we start today or whether we pick this up again tomorrow. I'm not sure, we'll see what traffic looks like. So yeah, I'll catch you guys when we're back at the workshop. We now have transporter roof bars. Now the reason I didn't just go and buy these new is because actually I only want this bit here, which is the foot pack. So yeah, we're going to strip these down and then we are left with what we need. After some, well, trial and tribulation is the answer. I now have the first angle done. I thought I'd do that off camera just to save a bit of time, but you can see we are now starting to get the first corner done. So we need to cut this one, then create another one of these, and then we can get our width. I'm basing it off of this because I've lined this up on the roof and these came off a T5. So providing that bolt goes to the centre of there, and when I move that one goes to the centre of there, this should be the perfect width to go onto the standoffs here. So that's what I'm basing it on at the minute. I'm just trying to get one end together and then we will go from there. I'll level with you. It is day 2. As you can probably see, it's much lighter in here now. I was just very close to a mental breakdown last night with things not going to plan. So I've come back this morning with some new tools. So after speaking to Jess's dad, who is an engineer by trade, I explained some of the issues, fucking pigeons, explained some of the issues I was having, and he's given me this, which I have one of these, I just don't know where it went in my workshop. So one of these, so once we've found the 22.5mm angle, got that, and then something that's actually, hopefully, accurate to find the first 22-degree angle, 22.5-degree angle, and a 9-inch grinder with cutting discs. So I'm hoping today, day 2, we can just smash into it and get it done. So first of all, I need to get all this mess pulled back out and make it usable again to start working on it. And then let's crack on with day 2. After last night's trials and tribulations and making things harder than they really needed to be, I've just come back to grinders and grinder cutting discs. So first corners are done, which I am pretty happy with that. We've got a nice looking on there, and pretty happy. I still need to level this because a minute ago this was moving, but this is all completely square and measured out as you've just seen me do. So this is the same distance across here as the moment it is across here at the back. So we're square from that point of view. Put a square on here and we're all nice and good. So I'll just move that accidentally. But yeah, so I think the front corner of the halo, so to speak, is done. Now if I put this roof bar, because I test fitted these last night, so if I put this onto here, try and get it squared. We've got the roof rack fitting nicely on the bar. So I think we're in a good place. We're pretty set up. That's moved in. That'll be why. I was looking at that again. That doesn't look like it's fitting right. That's better. So yeah, all lined up. So that is the front of the rack done. Now in theory, I should just be able to replicate the back, because after measuring up on the roof, the holes from front to back are exactly the same. 25% of the way there maybe. Get the halo done. My aim is to try and get everything tacked up, welded and test fitted today. It's currently 11:35. As you've just seen, she is all squared up, and that is basically the cutting done. I need to level these tables because currently we're leaning that way and this one is higher than that one, which is why we're getting a twist on there. So yeah, I've got the bits put on the roof for the transporter. You can't run the middle back one because it sits proud massively of all the other two. In fact, from here you can even see that the front and rears actually slope slightly, so I might have to bend those up, but we'll see how we go. So next job is get side steels up on there, work out where we want the whole rack to sit, and then make some marks and drill it in, and then we'll duplicate from that one to that one, test fit everything up, and then welding can begin. Now on the roof is the laid up side piece. So I've got the 3 mounts on, got that all situated. It's not bolted or anything, it's just resting there at the minute. It sits slightly inboard of where I wanted it to. However, I think it'll be alright once you've got a full rack up there. You've got some bits and bobs on it and whatever else. I don't think you'll really notice. But what it does give you is lots of nice real estate to strap to, which is the main thing when getting that on. So yeah, I've marked up on here where I want them across all the feet. So we'll take it down now, we'll drill the holes for the feet and get that mocked up. Transfer it then to the other side, test fit that on the other side, and hopefully 2 side rails on. And then today I think all we're going to get done is the tacking up, but at least if it's tacked up, I can lift it off, stand it, and then when I want to crack on with it next time, just pick it back up and go then. it's all been squared up and it's all been leveled. So main things when squaring up is measure corners, and if you've got the same measurement, then you're pretty close. I think I'm out by about 3 or 4 mil, like, but over the amount, I don't think it'll matter. We've measured the holes, they all seem to be right. Individually, I've test mounted them on the roof. So all I'm gonna do first is tack weld it up, just to get this basic halo sorted, and then, yeah, go from there really. Jess is here now, so once I've got it tack welded, we're gonna lift it onto the roof. Obviously I mentioned leveling as well actually. So leveling it is important because although if these angles are correctly done, if it's not level, you'll end up with a twist in it. And obviously when you go to put it up, the roof is flat, or flat enough. So if you've got a twist, what you'll find is that it will miss this one and miss the far back corner one, and then the other two will contact and it will rock. And obviously you don't want that. So what I've done is, it's really rudimentary. I know I'm lucky to have these, thanks Dad, even though I said I had no use for them. It's really rudimentary, but all I've done is put cardboard under each corner just to shim it up slightly, and seems to be doing the job. So let's get the welder out and get tack weld. I know we're struggling for light, it's getting on for 8 o'clock, and to be honest, I don't really want to use the grinder much later. The landlord literally lives like just the other side of there, so I'm getting on for the point where I'm about as done as I'd like to be, and being considerate to people around us. So basically, whole thing is now welded up, or the hoop, the halo, so to speak, is now welded up. I have cut the uni-strut there and there, which will go in between, and I have marked on there where it's going. So, and I've done the same at the other end as well. The uni-strut is galvanized, so I'm not going to do that tonight. A, because I'm running out of batteries on things. I'm using them in the grinder quicker than they're charging, purely because I'm tidying the welds up to the point that you can't see them anymore. All the flex has now completely gone, so when I put it down, you could twist it with your hand like that, and now no flex whatsoever. I got more out of the uni-strut than I thought I would, so I'm not gonna have to take the mini roof rack apart, which saves me a load of time. Overall, major happy with the progress. Yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow night for night 2. Right, down here for night 2. So, I'm gonna start with possibly the most awkward thing, which is going to be getting this VanMaster Apollo 30-inch light bar sunk into the front of this. I want to say a big thank you to Beacons and Light Bars for sending this out to us. Their service, with how quick they could get it to us, was absolutely phenomenal. Next day shipping. The unit is a really nice unit. It is around 14,600 lumens of light. It has a white and amber DRL in it, which
which I'm very excited because if you know Norm, we like our amber running lights. Now this is going to be sunk into the front of this, just make sure you can see that, sunk into the front, and as you can see, it's a good width without it being too big. So I'm very excited to get this all mounted in, and I think I've got a battery around here somewhere, so once I've got it in, you know we're going to be testing it. So the aim is for tonight, we'll get this in, get it sunk in, get the second bar welded in for it to attach to, and then we will get the solar panel in because the mounts have now arrived. So let's crack on with making a hole in the front of our new roof rack. So I'm going to start by laying up some tape across the front. That now gives us a surface that we can draw on using a ruler and a knife, just biro basically, but it means that we have a real good sort of base to start with, and we can make it easy for ourselves to draw on. It's been a good hour since I've last spoken to you, purely because I've been trying to figure out what to do here. Because I cut the beam that's over there and put it here, and then went to put the light bar in and went, I can't get it in. So, after a bit of faffing around, I've gone with Unistrut. I've not welded this in yet, it's purely just sat there. But changing the mounts from the ones that go in the end of the VanMaster light bar to the ones that go on the back, like a hook. And obviously they're designed to go around the bottom and sit on top, like that. However, if you invert them, you can make them sit the opposite way. Now, my plan here is if you hook in like that, that then goes in and sits in the hole just nicely. These mounts then sit on top of the Unistrut like that, and the light bar is now movable. You can also, because the Unistrut is half, or less than half, it's 22 mil, this is 50 mil, because this is shallower, you can actually get to the adjustment bolts on the back of the light bar, whereas when it was full-size box that was the same width, or same thickness, you couldn't actually get to the back to adjust the light bar, nor could you get it in. So, this is the solution I've now come up with. I've wasted an hour, it is 8 o'clock. I still have the rest of the cross members to weld in. They are already marked, so that's just a case of mounting up the solar panel and then weld those in the right place, and then a lot of prep and a test fit. But yeah, I need to weld in some end plates here as well to sort of block this end off. And then I can move on and push back. So I'm going to clean the galvanizing off the ends of this. I'm going to get this tacked in, and then I'm going to look at welding in these block off plates here to stop rust and corrosion happening inside the roof rack.
have a completely closed up aperture. The light bar goes in, it then sits on top of the unistrut there. So the next job, solar panels back there, let's get the brackets on, work out where that's going, and then get the next 2 rows of unistrut lined up. So I've bought just these very generic brackets. They're going to go, how are they going to go? Like this. We're going to have 2 on each end, like that. So we'll get those in. They came with self-tappers, so we'll go with it. Let's get that on. So top tip, when you've got a solar panel that you have to drill your own holes in, get a piece of wood or something like that and just pop it under the lip, because that way you don't bang through and go straight into the back of your solar panel. Just a little tip that potentially saves you having to buy a new solar panel. Right, we have mats. So let's just chuck this out the way. So that one should go there. There's the front one that should there. So that's 1. And that is 2. See, that is exactly what you check. Because now the brackets are on. Let me just... Yeah, so now the brackets are on, we actually need to slightly shimmy the mount up. Something like that. So although one can stay the same, it's moved by about 6 or 7 mil, but it was enough to not let it drop in. So always test fit your stuff. So that is roughly where we're wanting to be. Okay, so sit rep is currently 1/4 to midnight on Tuesday night, and I'm calling it quits. I've got all the welding done, I've prepped it, the prep work took longer than I thought it would, figuring out the light bar situation took longer than I thought it would. If I start priming now, 3 coats of primer probably take 5 to 10 minutes ago, plus 10 to 15 minute flash time between. I'm going to be here till at least probably 2 AM by the time I leave and get packed up and everything else and clean the gun and everything that goes along with painting. So I'm in the office tomorrow, I'm calling it quits now. I've still got to sort of tidy up and whatever else, so I ain't going to be home till after midnight, but let's take you through. So front cutout is now done. We have that ready to go. All the unistrut is tacked in. So obviously you saw we were going to have the light bar in here, attach it to here, which works well. We've got the second one and third one in for the solar panels. So that's all situated and done. And then this rear one is set at a very specific point, which allows the small traction boards to go on here and here. Just missing the solar panel in the middle. I'm happy it's prepped, so annoyingly now that it is prepped, when I come to paint it next, I'll need to just quickly buff it all down again with Scotch-Brite like I've done now, and then we can go straight into primer. But yeah, I am completely beat, and I've got to be up in less than 6 hours to go to the office. So yeah, I'm heading home. I'll catch you guys when we're laying some paint down. I've just spent the last 5 minutes doing the final bolt up just to make sure I'm fully happy with everything. So I've got it up on the roof. So to give you an idea, the back end finishes just nicely. Now don't forget we've got a bike rack that will go on that back door, and we've got a ladder and all that jazz. So this back will suddenly extend a bit more, which will make it look a little less frumpy butt there, but yeah, that's it on. Now, you may notice there's a slight light going on up there. Now it's not fully in, but you can see I've got my little jerry-rigged power supply. Now bear in mind, this power supply is only 6 amps, and this light bar requires 15 amps to power it fully. Look at that! And you can see it's lighting up quite a bit of the barn, and it's not dark yet, it's only 5:30, 6. So yeah, I'll quickly change it into DRL mode, and you can see the DRL. So then, you've got amber DRL. It also has a white one on there, but obviously for time purposes, you get the gist. There is a very bright orange DRL in it. Now, I'm excited because it's even lighting up the barn up on the roof. So yeah, I think that is going to be a very cool addition. I know it's really hard to work this out because that looks very cool. This looks very dorky, and we have things squirreled away that you'll see in next week's video that will change all of this and make the roof rack match. But how cool is that? Right, roof rack off, and then time for paint. This is the evening I've been trying to get to for a while. It is on a bench that is rollable, so I can push it out over there once it's done. But I'm going to mix up some primer and get spraying. First coat of colour is on. I should probably explain what I'm using. So we've got Raptor liner left over from the mini roof rack. So I've gone with that. However, a little trick I learnt from John is if you get one of these eBay HVLP guns, I don't remember, it's HLVP or HVLP. HVLP guns, I think they're 25 quid, I'll put a link in the description. I've done loads of stuff with this. I usually just leave a little bit of thinners in the bottom and it keeps it moving freely. But yeah, it's doing a perfect job. I'm running it through a 2mm nozzle. Primer I did through 1.7 because I'm priming for something else at the same time, which is completely out of shot for you. But yeah, so 2mm on this. So I'm going to let that flash. I'm going to do swap back to 1.7 and I'm going to shoot what I need to over there. And then I'll come back, give this another coat, change, and then give that another coat. Or I might do it all in one go, don't know. Either way, it's currently 9:45 and it's looking good. We're closing in on being done, and I love how the rack is looking. I think it looks absolutely brilliant. It is just short of 11 o'clock now that I've tidied up. Everything that I've sprayed is over there, and I'm afraid you're gonna have to wait for the reveal. So we'll wait to show you the entire rack once it's on the van. We're gonna be cutting it close on this week's video. So the rack's gonna be getting installed Saturday. It's currently Thursday night. So hopefully it's set enough, and yeah, I'm off home to bed and I'll see you guys on Saturday to fit the rack.
And that is the roof rack done, completed and on. Let's show you around. Overall, I am incredibly happy with how that's come out. I know in this video it's going to be very off-putting because, like I said earlier, nerdy, cool. So, yeah, I'm down here today, I've finished that and I've got something that's going to make it look much less nerdy, but cool, that's going to go on. So, stick around for next week to find out what my plan is there. So I thought I'd just run you through a quick cost breakdown. So the steel, so that is the perimeter ring that goes round the 50 by 30 2.5mm box section. That cost £83 from our local steel stockists. Unistrut, so the bits that go across, so the solar panels mounted to it, the light bar, the traction boards, etc. That came in at £46. The roof bars were 20. Now all I ended up using off the roof bars was the feet that are on each corner, so they interface between the halo sort of ring around the outside and the actual van itself, because to be honest it was just easier than trying to make some. Then we got paint. £20 is roughly what I've put down for that. It's very difficult because I bought large volumes, because at some point I'll probably end up using more, so obviously I've used thirds or quarters of cans. It's sometimes less, it's hard to figure out, so I put £20 against that, which I think realistically is probably less, but we'll over-egg it. And then miscellaneous consumables, I put £15, so I went through 5 or 6 cutting discs with a grinder, 1 grinding disc, and a couple of flap discs, just tidying up welds, cleaning up things, etc. And then that covers a bit of gas and welding wire and stuff like that for the welder. So in total, this rack, not including accessories, which is what I count the light bar, the solar panel and the traction boards as, comes in at £144. Which, considering the front runner roof rack we were looking at, I believe was over £1,600. So obviously it's come in at a 10% of the cost. Now, would I say it's 10% of the product? No. Because when you look at the front runner roof racks, they are steel as well. It's only actually the feet pack that interface that are aluminium. So bear that in mind. This actually weighs less than a front runner roof rack. Granted, we have less cross members, which is where a lot of the weight will come in. But we weighed this and it came in at 38 kilos, which I don't think is horrendous. I can lift, I can't get it, I can sort of get it up on my own, but obviously you've got to be careful not to damage paint on the van. So 2 people ideally, but I can literally pick that up by its cross members and walk around with it. It's not horrendously heavy whatsoever. However, it is plenty strong. Now, I think one thing we might do in the future is the front section, sorry, I know I'm looking at the screen on the camera, there, to where the solar panel is, obviously mounted halfway down. I think we're going to get some molly board. Now, if nobody knows what that is, I'll lay a picture on screen. Essentially, multi-purpose board that you can put whatever sort of hooks or bolts in or whatever you want. Basically, it's just multi-function board. Overall, very happy. I haven't got the light bar wired up yet because it's currently Saturday at 11:59. You can't see that. And this video goes out tomorrow morning at 7 AM. And I've still got a hell of a job to do on this afternoon. So that is where I'm going to leave it for this week. We'll do a full review, like in depth, of that light bar and how good it is. It's only single row, so we'll see what the light output's like. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. Put in the comments what you'd do differently. Would you design it the same? Or would you do something different? Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.